This is a news update on Housing TV Africa. The headlines: 193 billion naira loans declared unrecoverable in CBN's intervention scheme. And in housing, architects call for total compliance with accessibility laws into public buildings for PWDs. And outside Nigeria, U.S. report death of senior Hamas military leader Marwan Issa. Welcome to the news on Housing TV Africa, reaching you from Abuja. I am Flora Ani. Now the news in details. The Central Bank of Nigeria has been implementing various intervention programs to stimulate economic growth, with one of the most significant being the Intervention Funds program, estimated at 10.3 trillion naira. However, recent reports reveal concerning development regarding the repayment status of the fund. According to the latest update in September 2023, the Intervention Funds program has achieved a repayment rate of 75.8%. However, 193 billion naira of the total loans disbursed under the program have been declared lost, with an additional 418.9 billion naira remaining doubtful. Details of these findings were contained in a report providing a breakdown of the bank's intervention fund over the years. This raises questions about the effectiveness and sustainability of the program. Out of the 10.3 trillion naira disbursed, approximately 4.4 trillion naira has been repaid, leaving an outstanding balance of 5.8 trillion naira. Some of these loans are structured as tenured loans with principal repayment due only when the loans mature. The revelation that 193 billion naira in loans has been declared lost raises concerns about the accountability and management of the intervention fund. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezekalu, has called for the amendment of the Disability Act to provide for at least 5% quota of employment for people living with disabilities. He also pledged for the Parliament's readiness to evaluate a suggestion that 10% of all intervention projects of the ministries, departments and agencies of government should be dedicated to the welfare of PWDs, even as he accepted to the special request of becoming the face of the people. The development emanated from a courtesy call paid on the Deputy Speaker by the trio of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, the chairman, Accelerate Disability in Emergencies Forum, Agbo Christian Obiora, and the Chief Executive Officer of TAF Africa, Dake Ekpele, who also pleaded for the protection and welfare of the PWDs under the law over the weekend in Abuja. Earlier in her presentation, the president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Architect Mobolaji Adeniyi, expressed gratitude to the National Assembly for the PWDs Act 2018, which she said recognized the need for all buildings in Nigeria to address the accessibility needs of PWDs. Stone Dealers Association and Truck Owners Association in Ivu local government area of Ebonyi State have shut down their businesses to protest increase in the price of materials by Chinese firms operating in the mineral-rich local government. The two associations also shut down businesses to protest an increase in haulage fees by the Chinese firms. The association shut down businesses last week and vowed not to start operations until the prices of materials and haulage were reduced. Mr. Njoko Godwin Uchechi, the chairman of Ameze chapter of Ivo Association of Stone Dealers, said they were protesting the incessant increment in the price of materials in the business, which he said was severely affecting the association. Governor Agbo Kefes has reinstated his administration's commitment to turn around the infrastructural deficit of Taraba State. Speaking during an inspection tour with some of his commissioners to the site of some of ongoing projects within Jalingo, the state capital, said that all hands are on deck to ensure transparency and accountability in delivering the projects. The Lagos state government has said it is open to collaboration to bridge the housing deficit in the state. It added that it was working with the Federal Housing Authority to provide affordable housing for both residents of the state and Nigerians abroad. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, according to a statement on Monday, stated these when he received the management of the Federal Housing Authority led by the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer Oyetunde Ojo at the Government House, Marina, on Saturday. Sanwo-Olu maintained that the Federal Housing Authority vision tallied with the state objectives of providing affordable housing for residents at the various strata of the economy. He said his administration had provided 18 different housing asset projects in different parts of the state to reduce housing deficit in Lagos since he assumed office. Sanwo-Olu stated the Federal Housing Authority is known for opening new areas, new cities and corridors. You're still watching the news update on Housing TV Africa. We will return with more stories after the short break.
Thank you, AIHS, for the opportunity of this exhibition. It was a nice experience. I would like to make it again.
Thank you, AIHS. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, AIHS.
Thank you, AIHS.
Thanks for joining us. Now to all the news development. The National President, Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, has called on the federal government to pay the 4 months withheld salaries of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational Associated Institutions. This was in reaction to the 7-day warning strike that SANU NASU began on Monday, which grounded universities' activities across the country. SANU and NASU had for about a month called the attention of the government to its exclusion from the payment of the withheld salaries, which it commenced payment for the Academic Staff Union of Universities in February. Their salaries were withheld with the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari invoked a no-work, no-pay salary against the Academic Staff Union of Universities and SANU for embarking on a strike that lasted 8 months and 4 months in 2022 respectively. Meanwhile, the national president of SANU, Muhammad Ibrahim, revealed that the strike recorded 90% success, adding that its members were angry. The NMPC Limited will be at the 2024 Serial Week conference scheduled to hold in Houston, United States from 18th to 22nd March 2024. GCEO NMPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kari, will headline Leadership Dialogue on Tuesday, March 19, 2024, at the National Strategic Conference. Serial Week is one of the largest energy conferences in the world, drawing thousands of foremost global energy industry experts and a host of other corporate and government leaders from around the world annually to Houston, United States for a week-long conversation on the future of energy. Organized by S&P Global, the conference has grown in recent years to accommodate new energy technologies and climate issues. The 2024 conference is expected to have participants from 90 countries and will feature 1,400 speakers. Under the theme Multidimensional Energy Transition, Market, Climate, Technology and Geopolitics, the Serial Week 2024 will explore strategies for multidimensional, multi-speed and multi-fuel energy transition as the global energy industry tries to respond to and offer insight into roadmap towards growing demand for emission reductions and moving towards cleaner forms of energy. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has on Monday defended the capital city's 2024 budget of 1.1 trillion naira before both chambers of the National Assembly. While making the presentation before the Senate and the House Committee, the FCT minister disclosed that the budget revenue sources will be made up of internally generated revenue, infrastructure support funds, among others. Wike says 280 billion naira is earmarked for overhead, 726 billion naira for capital projects, and 140 billion naira for personal costs, bringing the total budget to 1.147 trillion naira. He further highlighted some of the projects to be executed from the 2024 FCT statutory budget proposal.
We have a fiscal framework of sum of 1 trillion 147 billion 780 million 610,283 naira, comprising distributable revenue of 510.3 billion and non-distributable revenue of 637.4 billion, which is being proposed for the FCT 2024 statutory budget after due deliberations with all the revenue generating agencies of the FCT, also taking into consideration the parameters allotted in paragraph 8 above. Now, when you compare the revised 2023 appropriation of the sum of 641 billion, there's an increase of the sum of 506 billion, which is 44% in the 2024 statutory budget proposal. The increase is as a result of the expected loan from the commercial bank since we have exited from TSC in the sum of 500 billion. It's important to note that the FCT statutory budget is mainly funded from the 1%, from the proceeds of the 1% of the 52.6% of the statutory allocation of the federal government that comes from the federation account, and also internally generated revenue and other sources as contained in the revenue fiscal framework for the execution of the recurrent and capital expenditure.
Officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command have intercepted 499 rounds of live ammunition concealed in sacks of cassava flakes. The controller of the command, Hamedu Shoaib, says the successful operation was as a result of more than 2 weeks of relentless effort of his men monitoring the movement of the contrabands from the Republic of Benin to Nigeria. He said the suspected smugglers managed to abandon the contraband. He listed other items seized by the command, which include 123 sacks, more than 3,100 parcels of cannabis, 380 pieces of donkey skin, bales of used clothes, among others.
At the wee hours of Thursday, 14th March 2024, based on credible intelligence, our operatives intercepted smuggled 940 rounds of live ammunition, ingeniously concealed in sacks of cassava flakes, commonly known as gari.
The comptroller emphasized the command's commitment to protecting lives and combating smuggling activities, adding that the recent operations were carried out without casualties. He also warned smugglers to desist from their illegal trade or be ready to face the full force of the law. The controller also mentioned that the command is making improvement in the area of revenue generation.
Let me sound a note of warning to recalcitrant smugglers that their days are numbered. Join us together to make our society a safe and peaceful place to live in.
Hamas leader Marwan Issa died in an Israeli airstrike, White House official Jake Sullivan has said. As deputy military commander, Mr. Issa will be Hamas' most senior leader to die since the war began on 7 October. The Palestinian group, which controls Gaza, has not officially commented on reports of his death. Israeli media sources have reported that Mr. Issa was killed in a strike under the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza last week. The deputy commander of Hamas military wing, the Isidine al-Qassam Brigade, was considered one of Israel's most wanted men. The European Union, which placed Hamas leader on its terrorist blacklist, linked him directly to the 7 October attack by the group, which killed approximately 1,200 people. And that's a wrap on the news at this hour. Before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. 193 billion naira loans declared unrecoverables in CBN's intervention scheme. And in housing, architect called for the total compliance with accessibility laws into public buildings for PWDs. And outside Nigeria, U.S. report death of senior Hamas military leader Marwan Issa. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms at Housing TV Africa. I am Flora Ani. Enjoy the rest of your day.